Hi guys, and welcome back to the Shaanah Montana YouTube channel. And today, this is episode 2 of the You're Distracted series, and we are going to talk about the power of journaling to remove distractions. And for the first thing, we're going to get right to it. I don't want you all to think past how simple it is to use journaling to help you with your process of removing distractions from your life. Because as you know, for episode 1, the homework was to list out your top 3 distractions. And so in figuring out what your top 3 distractions are, and now you can take your journal to get clear about what steps you need to take in order to remove those distractions. So for example, we'll say, and we'll keep it very simple because again, journaling is no more than taking your Shaanah Montana journal, the blueprint journal, being committed to writing in this journal every single day, putting pen to paper, your thoughts, your words, consistently doing it, and watching the things that you say you desire come into fruition. So the first thing is, journaling, very simple task, but we're going to talk about how you can make it a part of your lifestyle and not just a trend in the first step. So if we're going to say one of my distractions, like I said, most people, is going to be social media. I'm going to say I need to remove social media from my life in a way that is distracting me. But I also know in using this journal, I want to focus on starting a new business. And we're going to say that new business is a podcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the first 30 minutes of my day, I'm going to focus on journaling. And with that, I'm not going to get on social media. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my living room and journal, and I'm going to leave my phone in my bedroom while I journal. And so in keeping it very simple and putting pen to paper, putting words and thoughts and the things that we want to manifest into our journal, we're going to take our blueprint journal and we are going to write about, what it is that I want to gain from having a podcast. Like, what is my goal of starting a podcast? That's one thing. And then the next thing you can do is journal about what does my journey look like in order for me to get there with starting the podcast. You can use this as also a notebook in a way of like, what things do I need? What steps do I need to take? What people do I need to speak to? What is my plan to make sure I do those things and to revisit it in this journal every single day to make sure that it's going to happen? So that's the first thing. Understanding that journaling is very simple. Journaling is no more than putting your thoughts and your words on a piece of paper, pen to paper. They say what? Put pen to paper and watch shit happen. But like I always say, most people never put pen to paper to watch shit happen. So what you gonna do? That's the step 1. It's that freaking simple. The next thing is being clear about your intentions with your journaling. Now me, for example, I have 3 different journals that I use consistently. The first journal is what I like to call my morning affirmation journal. And that's a journal where I really just write, literally like, you is smart, you is kind, you is important, but you are amazing, you are astounding, you are brilliant, you are beautiful, you are flourishing, you are everything that God desired and created you to be. Your life is amazing. Today is going to be amazing. Today is going to be one of the best days of your life. God, show me how great today can be. So I literally use my morning affirmation journal as a way for me to speak life into myself. And I'm very intentional about that every day because it sets the tone. Because when I write it, I believe that it is going to happen and show up for me in that way. The next journal that I use is what I like to call my 300 things journal. And so if you all haven't ever heard of things, but Steve Harvey put out this 300 things list and said, at the top of the year, he wants you to write out 300 things that you want to see manifest in your life over the course of the next year. Now that I think about it, I wrote it last year. I need to go revisit my list because we into a new year. But you write out eventually over time 300 things that you would like to see manifest into your life. And as you write those things, you believe that they're going to happen. And you're supposed to revisit the list the next year to see all the things that actually came true. So in doing that, I call it 300 things list because while I don't literally try to sit and write 300 things, what I write in that list are the things that I have already claimed that are going to happen in my life. So for example, I may write down, I love the brand new car with the peanut butter brown leather seats that I have and I'm riding in present day. I love the new home that I'm living in this XYZ community that I knew I would be able to live in one day. I love that my hair, nails, and skin are glowing and popping like it's supposed to every day. So I'm literally writing out the things that I want to see happen in my life, and I'm speaking about them in a tone, in a past tense tone, that they have already happened. So it's literally, you can write it that way, or you can just write out the list of things that you want. I want a new home. I want a new car. I want peace. I want a husband. I want you know, a new career, whatever it is that you desired. But that's what I do for my 300 things journal. And then last but not least, this is a journal that really comes in handy, I feel like, on days that have been tougher than others, where I really call it my nightly release journal, or my release the day journal, where I really will write out like, God, release the heaviness that was on my shoulders today. Release the argument that I had earlier with so-and-so from my body. You know, release any negativity that was in my being. Release the tenseness, whatever the word is. Release the tension that I feel in my shoulders right now. It's where you call for everything that either, you know, sometimes just did not go well in the day. I want to release it. But also things that just may be weighing on my mind. Release any worry. Release anything that's causing me to be fearful. Release anything that is not of you, God. I want to get that out of my spirit. I want to get that out of my being. So in setting your intentions with how you're going to use your journal, that is really going to allow you to be able to go back and look at those journals and figure out, okay, if I'm looking at my 300 things journal and I recognize that the focus is that in 2024, I want a new house, a new car, and a healthy relationship, that's going to allow me to go in and write about those things every day, outline what I want them to look like, but also keep my mind on those things when I feel like I'm doing things that are going in the opposite direction of getting those things. So if my goal is to save for a down payment on a home and I'm writing about getting a new house every day, I know that I can't really be frivolous with my funds. Or when I feel like I want to buy that new pair of shoes because I'm writing in my journal every day about it, I'm going to think about that. No. That $100 can go towards that house fund versus going towards that shoe fund. Or if I know that I'm working on, you know, my relationships, and I want a husband, you know, for me, instead of those times, if I'm writing about that on, say, a Friday or Saturday night when I normally would be in the house, and unless I'm looking for Santa Claus to come marry me, I know that I may need to step out a little bit. So if I don't normally go out on a Friday or Saturday, I'm going to go to a fancier restaurant, go to a happy hour, sit at the bar by myself. I might meet somebody. It's going to allow me to think about different adventures that I can go on. And then even with my affirmation journal, if I'm constantly speaking this life into myself, I'm constantly going to believe those things. I'm constantly going to know that those things are going to be true. That's also going to keep me on track from being distracted by when I'm on social media and believing that somebody who's come down my timeline, that, you know, they're better than me. They are doing better at life than me. There's something I should be envious of. I'm not going to feel that way because I speak into myself every day. I know I'm amazing. I know I'm strong. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm outstanding. I know I'm all the things that God designed me to be in his own image. So because I'm practicing those things and I'm putting those things into play, I'm not really going to be looking at, you know, shorty across the way on Instagram or Facebook and like, damn, I wish I had that, or damn, I wish I had that number of followers, or damn, I wish I had that. It's just going to be like, you know, I love what they're doing, and I know if God is blessing them the way that he is, you know, it must be right around the corner for me. It's like when I see my friends getting blessed, I celebrate that. I'm happy for them because I know God is still in the blessing business. And if he that close in blessing somebody I know the blessing is right around the corner for me. So I think it's important for us to recognize that's the second thing, you know, being intentional with our journal and the things that we are writing and the things that we are calling life into. And I think you have to understand that another thing that you can use your journal for is, you know, once you have identified distractions, and as you go forward, you know, in life, there's always going to be something trying to distract you. So that's going to be a continuous thing of identifying what are your top distractors and how you can remove those. But also feel free to use your journal for, you know, tracking your habits to build better habits, planning for the future, affirming yourself, like I said already, you know, celebrating successes, whatever the case may be, but just recognizing that if a thing about habits is, say if I'm writing in my journal, today is January 15th, 2024, and say I'm writing in my journal every day from January 15th to January 30th, and then I fall off in February, but then I pick back up in March. This allows me to go and look at my journal and say, okay, what happened in February that caused me to not write in my journal? Like, was I traveling a lot in February and I just forgot to bring my journal with me? Or was I traveling a lot and I just wasn't focused on it? Did work have my attention? Wasn't making my journaling a priority? Was I just off focus? Like, I just got off kilter with my goals? Did I start dating somebody, and instead of staying on track with my goals, I allowed that dating situation to distract me? Like, those are habits that as you build them with your journal, and of course I always recommend every day when you write, put a date on it, you can go back and take a look and see, you know, Did I fall off? Or what was I writing about in January? And then when I resumed, say in March, like, what was I writing about then? What was happening in my life? You know, for you to be able to take your journal and go back and look at the things that you were writing about, like how you were affirming yourself, the goals that you had, what you were releasing each day, that allows you to go and see, okay, I'm doing well, I'm staying on track, or I fell off a little bit in certain places, I need to get back on track in certain areas. So to be able to journal, it's a great keeper of records on so many levels for you to be able to recognize, like, where am I winning? Where can I do better? Where am I doing great in life? Where can I improve? What areas do I want to do things differently? What things do I need to remove? It's a great way to go back and look back and evaluate. And that's the importance of also having more than one journal, so you can use them for different things. And okay, this is my affirmation journal. This is my journal for my career planning. This is my journal for my business. This is my night journal. So it's not all jumbled up and mixed up. You know exactly where to go to get it. Now, the next thing I would say that's huge, and this is good on looking back, would be using a journal just for, you know, like daily reflection and distraction identification. So more so, you can take it where you may decide to have a journal where I'm going to use this journal for the purposes of reflecting on, you know, today, January 15th, this is how I feel. This is where I feel my life is. This is where I feel I want my life to go. These are the things that I want to do this year. These are the tools that I need to get there. And then recognizing this, if you are writing, and we know, I always say, try to write with your phone in another room. But if you're writing and you find that you get distracted and you walk away from the journal, you come back, write down what distracted you. Did your phone ring and you went and answered it? Did somebody ring the doorbell and you went and answered the door? Did your thoughts just wander for like 20 minutes? Was your phone in the room and you got on social media? Use it as a tool for that. Like, I know sometimes if I'm just sitting here and I'm making different decisions with, like, instead of streaming movies or TV shows all day, I'm like, I'll take some time to read a book. I'm still gonna watch my little movies and stuff, but I'm gonna take time to read a book. But sometimes after I read a book, I may say, okay, I'm gonna write about that, or I'm gonna get in my journal, I'm gonna, you know, write like what I learned. But because we sometimes have so much going on, I may be sitting here and I'll be looking at the table across the room, and I'll see some dust. I'll get up and go get the dust, the spray, the stuff, wipe it down, get back. It's like, girl, if I come back to my journal and I'm able to write like you got distracted by the dust across the room, did I really need to get up, or was I just trying to find a reason to stop writing because I wanted to procrastinate, or I was just trying to be lazy, or I just didn't feel like writing right then, and which is okay. So recognize that you can use your journal as a daily reflection tool, but also as a way to identify distractions and really highlight that when you get distracted, so you can dive into what was it. Because if it is where you don't like to be in the room without your phone, and every time you start to journal, you pick up that phone, that's the bigger issue where we're going to talk about a digital detox is something that may be needed for you. Now, the next thing is journaling as a motivational tool. We know that journaling can be used as a motivational tool, because journaling is something where you are literally looking at your life and you're saying, okay, this is what my life looks like. This is what I want my life to look like. And it's not always about the material things, you know. It's, again, we're all on different journeys, but my journey personally involves, you know, my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, which goes with mental, you know, my spiritual health, occupational, you know, work, professionally, personally, things, my business, my finances, all kinds of stuff. So it's all about recognizing, this is why I always want to take this watch off, is because people are always trying to call me while I am recording. And yeah, I'm going to learn. Keep that. That's my number one distraction, is that phone and that watch. Leave me alone, Seymour. So that said, using it as a motivational tool to look at what it is that you want to see your life look like, and record, you know, your personal growth and accomplishments. You know, I always say a lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit for the amazing things that we do every single day in our everyday life, and of course on a bigger scale. But use it as a tool to write down, you know, I got an excellent, you know, I know in corporate America it's almost time for reviews. I got a great review. I did great at work today. I started that podcast. I feel good about it. Like, use it as your own tool to write about your personal growth and accomplishments, and that definitely will motivate you to continue to move forward in so many different areas. And then one of the last things in regards to journaling for this area now one of the last things we're going to talk about in regards to journaling in this area would be just building the habit and building the routine. At the end of the day, it comes down to recognizing that if I am committed to every single day to take my journal, wake up or when I go to sleep or midday, I'm going to write in it. And I'm going to write about whatever it may be. You know, I'm going to write about my future plans. I'm going to write about my accomplishments right now. I'm going to write about, you know, my affirming myself. I'm going to write about that business I want to start. I want to write about the things I need to release. I'm going to write so much to write about. But if you are committed to writing every single day, you eventually are going to believe that those things are going to happen. And if you believe those things are going to happen, they are going to happen. But also, you are going to build that muscle where you won't even feel right if you don't write in your journal that day. It's like me. I'm a gym girly, 5:30 girly. And on most days, if I don't go to the gym, I don't feel right, because most times if I don't go, it's because I was just being lazy and didn't feel like getting out of bed. But the thing about getting out of bed, most times as soon as I get out of bed and brush my teeth, I'm wide awake. I take my pre-workout. So if I get up within 5 to 7 minutes, I'm wide awake and ready to go work out. So why not, you know, fight the good fight, get out of bed and go do it. And that's what I tell myself. And the same thing is going to apply with journaling. If you build that muscle every single day, you are going to be committed to the things that you say you want to do. You're going to be committed to no longer being distracted and putting your dreams on hold. You are going to be committed to getting the life, the money, the person, the things, everything in your life that you say you want and desire. You are going to be committed to doing it. So if you are committed to doing it and you're writing about it every single day, why wouldn't you believe that it's going to happen? You know that it's going to happen. And the only way that can happen is if you are focused on making sure that it's going to happen. So I think ultimately, you should feel equipped at this point to be able to take your journal and really integrate it into your life, where journaling absolutely is a part of your lifestyle and not just a trend or a thing that you are doing. So I just want to give a recap in this portion of understanding journaling is as simple as you make it. You can make it complex if you want to, but you ain't got to. Journaling is as simple as putting the words to the paper. Your thoughts, your word, your paper. Undistracted from social media or anything else. Being intentional, getting clear about what you want and what that journal is for. So whether it's for your affirmations, whether it's speaking life into the things that you want, whether it's releasing things for the day, whether it's to give yourself the praise that you deserve for your accomplishments and your growth, whether it's to talk about the challenges that you need to overcome, whether it's to talk about your relationship that you want to manifest, you know, because I have a relationship journal too. We'll talk about that on another episode, another day. But getting very specific about what it is that you want to set with your intentions with your journal writing. And then daily reflection and distraction identification. If you're writing in your journal daily and you find that you are getting distracted, note what your distractions are so you can come back to them and be able to settle it and say, okay, this phone got to go. I cannot have it in the room with me. I got to take this Apple Watch off, which I've learned by episode 3. I will not have that watch on, and my phone damn near will be in the other room with me, but I got it in here for other reasons. So being able to recognize what the distractions are. And then being able to journal as a motivational tool, recognizing that it's something you can go back to, but also to track your habits and behaviors. You know, when was I journaling the most? When was my journaling positive? When did I fall off? When was I talking bad? When was I not believing in myself? It gives you like a glimpse back on things, because if it's January and you're writing all the way to December, when you go back and probably read some stuff in January, February, you might be like, who the hell wrote this? Or I can't believe I wrote this and all this came true because I stuck with it. So you have to recognize, you know, the pendulum swings both ways. But it's like, which way are you going to swing with it to make sure that you see the things that you desire to come into fruition in your life the way that you say that you want? And then finally, just building that routine. It's like building the muscle. For anybody that says they want to be a 5 a.m. gym girly, the only way to start doing it is to do it. I always tell people at work, don't say what you'll try to do, just do. Like Nike literally got it right. Like, just do it. It's not a try. Like, I'm not going to try to wake up. I'm going to set my alarm. I'm going to get up. To me, I'm not going to try to journal. I'm going to wake up every day. I'm going to journal up on waking up. I'm going to journal midday when I do my 300 things. I'm going to journal in the evening when I go to bed. I'm not going to, you know, try to, you know, build this habit. I'm going to build this habit. Like, there is no in between. If you're saying I'm going to try, that means you are inserting doubt into what you're doing already. So how are you going to do it successfully? Why would you insert doubt into something that you say you want and into something that you say you're definitely going to do? If you're saying you're going to try, I don't think you really believe that you can do it or that it's possible. Or you kind of want to set yourself up for failure, because you want to set yourself up to procrastinate. You want to set yourself up to push it back. You want to set yourself up to not do it when you said you were going to do it. So instead of saying that I'm going to record this episode on Monday, January 15th, I'm going to say, I'm going to try to do it. that means if I don't do it, it don't matter. So does your life not matter? Do the things you say you want not matter? I think they do. So stop playing with yourself. That's the biggest thing. So today's homework. I want you to figure out of all the things I talked about, and go back and think about it as you need to, figure out what are going to be your intentions with your journal. So first episode, we identified what our distractions were. And so based on those, we want to figure out now what our intentions are going to be with our journal process and when we are going to journal. So if one of my distractions was going to be social media, I know that I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to try, but I am going to journal up on waking up right there in my bed, or I have chairs in my room, so I may go to my seating area and sit there, and I'm going to use this journal for my morning affirmations. And I'm going to leave my phone on the charger on my nightstand so I'm not distracted by it. Like, that's the kind of plan you need to have. Or I'm going to start out journaling for 5 minutes at night right before I go to bed, because my phone is already on the charger. I'm not distracted by it. And I just want to release whatever it was I had going on for the day. And I'm going to go forward with that. So get clear about what your intentions are with your journaling, with your journal. Like, you know, what is this journal going to be used for? And when and where you're going to journal. So are you going to journal in your seating area? Are you going to journal in your bed? Are you going to journal in your living room before you go to bed? Like, scope the scenery out and figure out what your journal journey and process is going to look like. And in the meantime, I also want to, as an extra piece of homework, this book, Atomic Habits, is a book that I am currently reading. I got it yesterday, and I just skimmed through it, and I saw so many gems in just skimming through it. And I will link it below where you all could buy it directly from Amazon. It was like 13 bucks, I think. But I skimmed through it, and this book gave me so many gems. And I posted it on my Instagram and asked people to share what they got from it, and already got so much wonderful feedback that I am excited about starting to read this book tonight. And we're going to be talking about it. I probably will do a separate YouTube video on it. I can already tell it's going to be a really quick read for me, meaning that I'm a speed reader. I read fast, but it's so much in here that I want to get to. So today, you know, I'm off work. Once I'm done with all of my content business, I'm going to start reading this book today. And the book is only, let's see how many chapters it is. The book is literally, it's just 20 chapters. Looks like a little bit over 250 pages. So yeah, a little bit over 250 pages. So you can absolutely get this book, Atomic Habits. So in removing distractions, we are working to build better habits. And I recommend in building habits, you know, we have to have tools and resources to do so. So this is a great book that I would recommend that you all tap into for my readers out there. And even if you aren't, you know, it's all about self-help, us doing better in 2024. So I'm excited about that. Make sure, again, you get on that homework. You figure out what journal you are going to be using. What is the intention of that journal, and when and where you're going to be journaling. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. It will be linked below to the journal collection and to that book. And I am signing off. Yours truly, Shaanah Montanna.